let's dive right in. When's the last time one of you was wrong with your wife?
What was the question?
Today, about 3 hours ago.
Tell me about it.
When that happened?
Man, y'all just gonna start trouble. Yeah, right off the bat, huh? We ain't even gonna warm up. About these pants.
Oh!
See, y'all ain't gonna be doing that from the
Tab's
audience.
right there. Ready for
Because y'all
it.
married.
So look.
Let me make sure I get this on camera.
Hey,
Oh, God.
but hey, I happened to look for something and it was not there. It wasn't there. I promise you, it was not where she said it was. I looked 3 times. And she happened to go in there and look, and I swear to God, she set me up. And it happened to be in there.
There you go.
So she had to get her I told you so, But yeah, about 3 hours ago.
That's cute. That's not a real being wrong.
Hey, you said weird.
Yes. Okay. All right. Who else? Something that you actually had to apologize for.
I just say sorry every day just to bank my sorries because I know I'm going to be sorry at some point.
I came home with some food the other day, and I feel like when I bring food home and I got a lot of shit in my hands, they don't never open the door for me in my house. I feel like that even when I come home from out of town, I got bags, and nobody's running to the door. So the other day I had some La Fonda. I don't know if you've ever been to Atlanta, but they have this amazing Mexican called La Fonda. And I'm coming through the door, and the kitchen door is locked. Now, I got 2 bags in each hand, and she in the kitchen. And I'm looking through the window like, you gonna open this door, we gonna goddamn. And so when she finally opens the door, I'm like, babe, you gotta stop doing that. She's like, what you talking about? I'm like, you gotta stop not like knowing to come open the door like I do when you come home, because if you coming home with groceries, I know you've been to the grocery store, you got some food, you got some bags, I'm coming to the door. So long story short, she immediately, what you mean? I'm meaning what I'm saying. And she's like, no, the way you're talking to me is, and I'm like, no, but I'm saying how I feel. I'm telling you that I don't think you come to the door when I have bags in my hands. That's how I feel. I want to tell you how I feel. I need you to know how I feel. And then she got mad at me and then went to sleep. And I'm like, we can't go to sleep mad. That's the rule we set 23 years ago. We can't go to sleep mad. That's why we've been married 23 years. So she wakes up the next morning mad. And she said, well, you spoke to me. You shouldn't have. I just told you how I felt.
See, then you get in
trouble. I told you how I felt.
You got in trouble for how you were just
I was just saying
expressing.
how I felt. And I'm not trying, and ladies, you need to know something about your man. He not gonna bring up every little thing all the time. But when he bring up something, it's a couple things that come with that offering. It's not the one thing you thinking about. And all I asked was you just to hear me. Y'all want to be heard, right, ladies?
All of them.
You want to be
Oh,
heard?
yeah.
So do we.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They don't want to
So anyway, I had to apologize. Didn't want to. Still didn't mean it. But I did.
But that journey is so real.
Don't post that, by the way.
It's too late. But that journey is very real. The idea of, hey, you want us to be more vulnerable. You want us to talk about stuff. Yeah. And then when we do, well, there's an explanation. There's a reason. There is an unintentional minimization of it. And then you now get mad, and I got to apologize, otherwise you mad at me.
It's a catch-22, because if you don't apologize, they're mad at you. When you do apologize, a lot of times they're like, but you ain't say it right.
Right, yeah.
You ain't say it right, right? Like, say it, they be like, say it like you really mean it. Let me see your eyes.
But I'm
don't sorry.
Because I'm mad at you because I was trying to get you to apologize. Now I got to apologize.
I always say, even when you lose, you win. Because you think, like, when you say sorry and you just own it, you have a happy home. It creates harmony. And all we want is peace. Yeah. That's really
That's
the end of the day. We just want peace and harmony.
All right,
so
one more time, in the back, please be quiet,
Then I'm
folks.
good.
Then I'm good. So even if I know that I'm right, I'll just, hey, baby, I'm
But
sorry.
when we say, but seriously, ladies, when we say we sorry, we still want that booty though. Don't be like, they be like, okay, I forgive you, but then the booty tight. You know, y'all sleep with all y'all clothes on.
But
And
They
the
probably
bonnet.
sleep with
Really,
Ugg
really
boots on. They don't want to
sorry.
give you no.
Really sorry.
They still mad.
And the bonnet.
And the
If the
bonnet.
bonnet's
Like
on.
they lose all the kisses be tight.
yeah, soften your lips. So why you?
Yeah.
But I want to add this though. In the beginning of relationships though,
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, we all, everybody, the men and the woman are trying to be in this relationship together. So they're adhering to things they might not normally adhere to. They're getting along so they can grow, and then they become the best versions of themselves, I think. And that's what's happened in my relationship. But at the same time, at the same motherfucking time, I just feel like you want to communicate, right? A lot of my relationship was about communication. I travel the world. I sell fantasy for a living. Like, there's a lot of communication that gets you to 23 years married with 2 functioning great humans, 22 and 18. But I think that as much as you want to express yourself and want me to hear you, I want to express myself. There are things I'm learning about myself at 50. I just turned 50 years old. And I had my birthday party at Prince's house. I did that.
He did. Paisley Park.
At Paisley, that's my father.
Welcome
my
to your
mind.
6th decade.
Thank you. But I just feel like I think a lot of times, you know, especially as I'm getting older, I'm being more expressive. So if that's vulnerability, if that's just
that's
me
good.
growing up, whatever it is, but I don't want you to dismiss my feelings. And it's almost like it's backwards a little bit. Don't you? You hear me? I love you, girl. You know, I just.
You're right.
But I think it's also because, at least for me, I don't do it much. And so when I do it, it's because it matters. And there are a lot of times where I'm just not going to say anything. And it's not that I'm sitting on it, I'm just choosing to let it go. But the things that I choose to bring up, it's because it matters and I want to actually talk about it. And you do want to be heard.
Yeah, I like to express it in the moment. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times as men, we feel a little sort of timid about saying how we feel about a situation because we know the repercussions could be kind of crazy. So you can't just say how you feel in the moment sometimes.
You got to filter. You got to censor.
So you got to be like, in my head, if I say this, we not going to eat.
Right.
We're not going to eat.
You go ahead, you
no
see the
food.
It's
It's gonna be bad. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to walk the dogs 8 times in a row. But at the same time, it is really masterful to be able to communicate in the moment so that they understand how you feel in the moment. So it's like, babe, well, why would you do that? And she's like, well, I didn't know you. I didn't even know you cared about that. And like, but I was sitting right here and you didn't even ask me if I wanted something to eat too, and you went to get food. Oh, well, I would get you something. You know, but if you don't address
If
it.
you did that.
But see, it don't work.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't work. It's one rule.
It's one
One
rule.
rule. It doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you are able to, over time, be able to express yourself in the moment, we learn in the moment.
100.
It's hard to go backwards.
Yeah.
Are you still talking about when we was at the skating rink?
Also, stories start to diverge.
Right.
And there's no winning
Yes.
that. It's like, well, that's not what happened. Well, what are you going to do about it?
And they have the best memories. They remember from the first date you had, what you were wearing.
think they do.
I don't understand how. They're like a computer, really. I'm like, I have the short-term memory. I remember like maybe this morning what I had for breakfast, but you know, she goes weeks and months back into the vault and pulls out stuff.
I've learned to operate in, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And what I'm listening to, see, that right there
you
ain't
want
gonna
to
lead
be
no-
both,
that ain't gonna
but you
lead
have
to no
to choose.
success.
But he live in the garage.
Yeah, you see, hey, that ain't gonna be no success, homie.
In your garage.
You were finishing or you done?
No, I mean, I'm listening and I'm thinking, you know, when you first started out, the first thing I thought about was how did you say it? I was like, hey, what was your tone? Right? I ain't see nothing wrong with your
The content.
yeah, with the content, but tone is everything.
Tone is everything, yeah.
Tone is everything. It'll change the whole context. But I'm listening as we continue to talk about it, and I'm like, most of these problems. Now I've been with my wife 20 plus years, you know, since we was kids, and the majority. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And the majority of our, arguments, they were on some immature stuff,
Right.
and what I started to get to was, most times she wrong. I'm gonna say that out here. Most times she wrong, but I just started asking myself, like, hey, what are we talking about? Like, what are we really?
Yeah,
am I
what we really talking
Man,
about?
I'm gonna take an L right here so I can take the W later and get to that thing you was talking about. I'm gonna take an L right
Yeah.
right? On getting that food, you should have, or you told me you ain't want nothing. Why you on my plate now? I ain't gonna argue about that right now. I'm gonna go ahead, baby, eat the fries. You told me you ain't want nothing, though. Right? So later, I'm gonna get the W, right? So I look at most of my situations like that in almost everything that we do. It's like, hey, listen, do you want to be happy or you want to be right? I ain't gonna sit and argue over nothing stupid.
Life is too short, and it's like in a lot of the arguments that we can have are so trivial sometimes,
Yeah.
And I always like, babe, it's like, really, is it worth it? Like, let's just, it's all good. Like, you know what I mean? And if I have to say I'm sorry, I'll say I'm sorry for that, even if I don't feel I am. But it's just, we're different people. Women are more emotional, men are physical. And we think differently. Like, so I think the key is empathy. And
I like that.
Empathy is the key to intimacy as well. And I think that once you're able to validate your partner and really understand where they're coming from, it just opens up another part of their heart, and they're able to love you even more. Because a lot of times they don't feel heard or seen or validated. Because we always want to fix things. I mean, if they come to us with a problem, we just we go to the solution.
Immediately.
Right? Boom, we fix it. But sometimes it's like they don't want that. They just want to be heard or just to be understood and just to feel what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And so I learned to just sit back and just listen and go, okay, what would you like to do, or what would you like me to do, and how can I be of service? How can I, and also the 5 love languages. A lot of people don't know about the 5 love languages, and I mean, for me, I know what my love languages are, but my love languages may not be the same as my partner.
Absolutely.
You got acts of service, you got words of affirmation, gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And if you don't know what your partner's love languages are, you could be doing things, buying her gifts, all these things, and she's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I need quality time. She might need, So it's really important to have these conversations and just really get to know who you are, because you're 2 completely different individuals. You're unique people. And you got to understand, like, the manual is very thick in a relationship. It's like, it's work. It's a work. It's like, it's a lot of work. And we just got to be patient. That's one thing I've really learned over the years. We've been together 7 years. I'm married for 2. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I tell you, man, when you find your person, it really, it makes you want to be the best version of yourself. It makes you want to be better. And that's how you know when you found your person. If you're with somebody that doesn't make you want to be better, doesn't champion you, doesn't really want to push you, then that's a bit of a flag, And relationships are all work, but you need to have somebody that makes you want to be better and gets you excited to.
I agree, and I think it makes you think of 2 things. One, people have a tendency to love the way that they want to be loved. Right. And that's not necessarily what the other person needs. And so if somebody has entirely different love language, but you're loving them in the way that you want to be loved, it may be real to you, but it's not being received.
Right.
And if it's not being received, then it's not going to matter. And so it's where communication and understanding and vulnerability comes in, because you're trying, but it's not being felt.
Right.
And so that can be like, I'm doing my best, but you didn't really talk about it.
I got something to add to that.
What you got?
I like what you're saying. I think with relationships, in my experience, 20 years in, is that I think you need to check in. Like, I think because everybody's needs change from like where you think where your needs were when you first started with your person. Every 2 or 3 years, you on a new level. You know what I'm saying? You don't listen to the same radio station every day. You know what I mean? You might be on another vibe. I think tapping in with your partner, finding out where they at with it, and then like meet at that spot. Because a lot of times we get in rhythms of the old, like, yo, we just gonna do this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. She might be at 4, 5, 6 today, you know, or this year might be 4, 5, 6, or 7, 8, 9, and you still operating on that first rhythm. It might not. Now your relationship getting a little stale. Now you like not talking. You in the, you in the den. She in the kitchen. You know, it gets weird. I feel like tapping in every now and then, sit down, like just like this is like kind of corny, but I think just sit down and say, yo, what are your needs? What do you want? Like what are some of the things you into right now? You know, what do you think you would like to be right now? And you'd be like, oh, wow, damn, you want to know? And then you're like, because women are like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I respect all the ladies in here. Women are different than us. Like, they be on different vibes. Like, they'll have, you buy, like, it's like shoes. Like, I ain't wearing heels. I don't want to wear heels today. I'm wearing my flats. You know, or then I'm going to go to my sneakers. And I feel love is like that. It's different channels. So every now and then, y'all just sit down and just have a real cool conversation and be like, babe, where you at with it right now? Like, what you into? What you think is your vibe right now? Yeah. And then you be surprised. They'll tell you, you know, like, I don't want no bullshit.
Yeah. Check in. Communication is the key.
So let's start with a couple of questions.
Okay.
You've all been married for a long time. Have any of you been to therapy to help your relationships or individually? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's something that's contributed to where you are now, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. People think therapy is taboo, but therapy is a beautiful thing, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't have to be, you know, having a tough time to be going to therapy. Therapy is just to help you to expand and evolve and grow. And so therapy is not a negative thing. And yeah, we've done therapy individually, we've done therapy together, and it's been so such a positive experience. You know, we've grown so much from that.
Yeah, I've experienced it as well. I think it's really good for couples to go that route, because what I like about it is that you get an opportunity to express yourself without having to feel like, oh my God, if I say this, like you get one person to sort of be like the referee.
Moderator.
You know?
Yeah, the neutral. Yeah.
You get somebody that's neutral. And so what happens, what I like about it is you hear better. Yeah. Like you'll listen, you'll be quiet, like you'll hear, and you'll be like, oh snap, I ain't even know. And then you get a chance to talk, and she'll be like, oh my God, you still caring about that, you know?
Because I've been married the longest on the stage. How long? No. Well, you agree with me with the therapy, though, right?
I think so. I'm going to let you finish.
So I just think if you can't work through your problems together, bringing somebody in, not that it doesn't work, but I just don't know how. Because I think that there are God complexes with doctors, with psychiatrists, and people just have to be right in scenarios. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that.
Yeah. But Kenny, I think what it is, I think if I'm listening to you, that's your ego.
No, it has nothing.
Hold on.
It has everything.
Oh, yeah.
It has.
I'm just being honest.
I don't hear ego in what he's saying. I'm saying, I hear him saying that that it's not for everybody.
That's true.
Right?
I agree.
Now,
Why you say have an ego then, big bro?
right. Don't.
No, but the only reason I said that is because when you go to somebody else, you're vulnerable. You feel vulnerable as a man.
I gotta be vulnerable with my woman.
No, but what I'm saying to you, because I felt
though.
the same way, I could relate to you. What I'm saying is when you go to therapy, you're saying that you need help. And a lot of times for men, it's hard for us to say that I don't know. So when you go there and you feel like somebody's listening to your personal situation, it makes you feel vulnerable. I did it. I know exactly what you're talking about. But what I do like about the courage of it is, if you do try it, you will learn things about yourself that you didn't know. Because you don't have nobody that's neutral to just be able to listen to you clean. That's what I learned.
So I think that
no judgment.
it's different for every person and every couple. And there's no one way. It's not therapy is a must.
It's a personal
therapy
thing.
is something that you
Or
never
you could
did.
just drink alcohol.
But honestly, it's like if you think about
helps.
whatever.
It does.
That's my
I mean,
therapy.
hey, sometimes you want to sip.
If
Get
you
a
think
sip.
about how people like to work out, some people will never go in the gym. They'll do things that are outside and super active, and that's their way. And some people only go in the gym.
Right.
And so neither is wrong. It's just what works for them.
Absolutely.
And I think what's really important is that you know that, hey, if there's a need, you figure out a way to address it. And if it's the two of you, if you need to read something, if you need to do whatever, you figure out what it is without a stigma either way. Oh, you're not going to therapy? Something's wrong with you. Oh, you're going to therapy? Something's wrong. And so as long as you can remove the stigma, it's all good. And what's the next question? Let's go square. No, what?
Uh-oh.
Ashley.
I'm scared now.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to ask the panelists one by one what you would say the secret to the success of your marriages are. Starting with Chance.
First and foremost, don't go to therapy. Kind of piggybacking off of what they said earlier in terms of what Bill was saying, encouraging change, being okay with change, and meeting your partner with change. Like he was saying that, and all I was doing was sitting here reflecting on me and my wife's. We grew up together. And a lot of our mishaps came from that one subject, where we were growing up, and when change happened, the partner was getting uncomfortable. You get comfortable, right? So you don't like to be uncomfortable or see something that your partner's doing that could get you out of that place. So, obviously, the one we always hear, communication, but being okay with your partner changing, right? Encouraging them to change, telling them it's okay, and checking in, like he said.
I think never let your expectations exceed your efforts. I think that growing up together seems like we all grew up. We've been in relationships long, especially us three. How long you been married, Tommy?
It's almost 8 years.
Yes, but growing up literally from young adults to adults, there's a lot of things that change. Finances, opportunity, kids, parents getting older. And you cannot expect your effort to be any less than what you expect from the relationship. And I think that's how my wife and I have been so dynamic as partners, because, we love each other, yes, but we're partners. We have roles in our relationship. We are better at certain things than the other. We know to yield to that in certain instances. And the understanding in that allows us to grow. I don't think you can grow when you're stifled. I don't think you can grow when things aren't checked off the list. But, put that effort in, because it's work. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for people that are easily able to say, I'm done and moving on. That's not what real partnership's about.
Tommy?
If your relationship is really important, you need to treat it as such. And if your relationship matters and you want it to work, there are things that are inconsistent with getting to a place where you've been together 20 years or 25 years or 30 years. Mm-hmm. And part of that includes working on yourself. Facts. And being willing to do that and being willing to confront that so that you can be the best version of yourself and be vulnerable in that there are things that you may not be doing or you may not be open to, but it's like you were saying, it's thinking about, and both of you, it's like thinking about the W as, for me, it's the horizon. It's not thinking about 3 months from now or 6 months from now. It's thinking about 20 years from now and figuring out what I need to do today to make sure that I'm in a position where my wife continues to choose me today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, and
Correct.
making sure that my actions are in line with that.
Give it up for Tommy. You just touched my spirit. One of my things that I think makes a relationship successful is being willing to listen and try to learn from what you hear. And a lot of times, it's really hard for guys, especially alpha males. Every guy up here is an alpha male. We try to find the solutions. We want to be right, but sometimes you're not. Sometimes it's a misread. Sometimes, you don't understand how your wife feels when the kids is just acting the goddamn fool, and then the carpool line long, and then, the microwave broke, and you can't fix it. And it's 11 o'clock, and she want to heat up a pot pie. She hot. And you like, baby, eat it cold. It's still the pot pie. And if you put it in the oven, it's going to be 45 minutes too long. You should have got a better goddamn microwave. So it's like those cute little things that to me are the, sort of the ebbs and flows of relationships. I think it's a lot of give and take. But the best advice I would say is being able to admit that you made a mistake, or I'm sorry, I didn't even know you cared. Because a lot of times, we don't know. Women think different than we do. Guys, I never see dudes fall out. Like, none of my friends, we never fall out. Like, I got the same friends for 25 years. Women fall out at Chick-fil-A.
Because the thing is like,
bitch, I ain't
So true.
This bitch already know I'm lactose.
but
Gluten-free.
it's like, if we got an issue, we're gonna talk about it, and it's gonna be done.
Right,
Or
we
not.
done. Like, women be hovering.
To it.
Ooh, when they mad. Wow. And then you can't even talk to her. Because a lot of times you don't know she mad at her friend. You be like, yeah, I just talked to Felicia. Oh, you talking to Felicia?
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
good timing, Tommy.
I thought y'all was cool.
Well, they say the grass is greener where you water it. And so I think that just really appreciating your woman, being there, listening, communication is the key to a successful relationship. So just being able to check in and just listen to her, to where she's at, like we said, and validating her feelings and removing yourself. Don't think that because you feel a certain way, she should feel a certain way. You're two completely different people. And that's what I've learned is like sometimes I would react and get a reaction because I'm not validating or feeling or empathizing with what she's going through.
Absolutely.
And that has changed so much, and there's so much more harmony because I'm able to step back and go, okay, we're different people. She's obviously coming to me with, whatever the situation is and expressing her feelings. So I gotta just listen. Let me just listen and validate and support and make her feel safe, and because that's the thing too, they just want to feel safe and supported. And I think that if you can, put all those together and look at yourself, be able to look at your own reflection and see or take accountability for, the role you play. Because a lot of times we pointing fingers all the time, but a lot of times we're a part of the problem too. And it's like, we got to just say, you know what, I was wrong. Okay, baby, I'll take the zero, I'll take the L, and it's okay. But a lot of us, we always got to be defensive and, the tone, and when we get defensive, they hear that, and it just puts gasoline on the fire, and it just creates, you burn the house down, and it's like, well, we could have just had a little tiny little spark. It didn't have to turn into this
Yeah.
huge,
We went left.
flame. But because of how we react as men, sometimes we have the power. Like I say, a woman's like the thermostat in the house. They control the temperature.
Yes,
They control.
indeed.
They're the
Thermostats.
thermostat. You control the thermostat. We
All the
have to be aware of
thermostats.
that. If we just want peace and harmony, and we have a lot of power. Just how we communicate and just respect them and validate their feelings. And I think if we do that, then you're in good shape. Cool. Yeah.
Chance.
That was all great. Listen, sometimes I'm listening and we up here, we some good brothers, right? Sometimes when people ask me this question, I feel like it's super important that I'm sitting here and it was just on my heart, and I got to say this: marry somebody that you like.
Yay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can't just go over that. We up here pouring it out, giving you all these great answers about, but if we miss talking, communication, looking down the road, all of that. But if you miss this one key point, if you don't like this person, ain't none of this gonna work.
It ain't nothing to talk about.
If y'all don't like each other, and what I mean by that is, this ain't got nothing to do with lust. This ain't got nothing to do with sex. Well, maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Because you need to like that too. However, what puts a smile on that person's face? Not just know what it is, but do you enjoy it too? Like, do you enjoy participating in that thing that person truly loves to do?
Right.
Does it mean the same thing to you? If you don't like this person, if you don't enjoy some of the same things, have some things in common, everything that we just said, it ain't gonna work. It's not going to work. You need to enjoy your partner. You need to, we can love all day long. You're gonna love by default. I took that one from my wife. But you gotta like the person that you with. You gotta like them. You need to know what they love to do, what they like to do. You need to
Correct.
like some of the same things and really invest in that. Otherwise, nothing is gonna work. And I feel like we up here giving our best effort at giving you great answers, and we may have missed that one key thing. Please, when you're picking your partner, right, pick them first and foremost because you like them.
No lies were told.
No lies told.
Thank you, Chance.
No cap, children.
No cap. All right. Over here, please.
That part.
Thank you, Chance.
Ain't nobody scared
Thank
of
you,
you,
Ashley
first of
G.
all. Clapping behind the pole.
We have the lady right here with the orange on. Oh, okay. Where we at?
Hi. So I heard you guys say like communication's a big thing, but I also heard you say you would rather be happy over right. And so I'm trying to figure out like how is that not settling? Like what part of
Can I ask you a
happy?
question?
Yeah.
Are you married?
No.
Yeah.
I can answer the question though. I can answer it. I can tell you.
Because he said it. Let him answer. He said it. He
I
said
can
it.
answer it. So what I mean by that is ask yourself how important the argument is.
Here's the argument.
Yeah.
If you
Pick your
so
battles.
when you're with a person for a long time, right? Certain things can cause frustration, right? That really don't matter, and sometimes you can lose sight of that. You can literally be arguing about whether something was in the closet or not all day long.
Yeah.
And mess up.
And that ain't worth addressing.
And it ain't worth addressing. So I could have argued with Tab all the way down the road in the car to come to this nice
About
event.
them pants she hid.
And she hid them pants. She did. But I chose to say, you know what? I got a special event going on where I'm going to get up here and cherish and make good memories. Speak highly about brothers and do something that will make my wife and my family proud.
Amen.
So I'm picking the win. That's a win, as opposed
Absolutely.
to arguing over something that don't matter and carrying it along. I found the pants, right? I found them. That's what matters. So that's what I'm getting at. Now, if
She
we're
like-
talking
she
about,
like, I
now,
found
if we're
them.
talking about something, right, that can be threatening to the family, right? To the family. Then you don't compromise. If I'm doing something as a man or she's doing something as a woman that can jeopardize our family, the name, the legacy, you don't compromise on that. But small things, food, things that you probably don't think that you're going to argue about when you do find that person that you love, you will argue about
it.
those things. And they
Opening
will
the door.
fester. Like, yeah, you will.
So compromise is this before you're married or in a relationship, it's a dirty word. Then and again, it is.
Yeah.
But in a marriage, it is a necessity, and it's perfectly
Facts.
fine
Yes.
because I am okay losing the battles if it means the war, which is us being together and us
one.
having
Harmony.
a family together. Like that's what I'm solving for. I'm not solving for this small ass thing. It's not what it's about. Because there's so many things that Cody and I have disagreed over, and right now we have an incredible family, 3 young boys, and all of Black Love Inc. But because I want to be righteous about this small ass thing, so now we're raising kids separately. There's no more Black love. There's no more any of that because I'm so about being right about it. No, not at all. If that means I need to drink a tall glass and shut the fuck up, then I will. Seriously, and so it's just this thing where you have to know what's important. And if what's important is, for me, making sure that we are together, making sure that she's happy, making sure that we get to raise our family together, then it makes all of the decisions so much clearer. And I have no problem settling on the small stuff if it allows me to live this incredible life with a woman that I love, even if she annoys the shit out of me sometimes.
Yeah, and this is not just for you, but I think at the end of the day, if your expectations are that somebody, or that you are supposed to say something in your relationship all the time, that you have to be getting your point across all the time, you're not going to be in a relationship. It's not going to last because you're going to hurt each other's feelings, and it's going to get to a volatile point where you can't talk without arguing. I've seen it happen a million times. So, we got any more questions?
I'm sorry, whose panel was this?
Sorry, I host a lot of shit. I'm used to hosting. Cody said I could.
Hey.
Hello, gentlemen. So we know that marriage is a mirror, right? What have you seen in the mirror about yourself, and what have you changed from what you've seen?
Great question.
Great
She
question.
must be a
Black women will
therapist.
save the planet.
Yeah, she gonna be giving us her call.
Therapist.
All right.
Good ass question.
I'll start. When I met my wife, I had a rotten tooth. I'm going somewhere. I had a rotten tooth. She said, "How you look like that and you got a rotten tooth?" I said, "My mama never put me on why taking care of your teeth was so important." So not only did I learn about the things that matter, because growing up, single child, single parent, Washington, D.C., locked up at 18, the statistic, I was a statistic, you think you know what you want. You think what you've seen is reality. No, dysfunction is not my reality. He was joking with me earlier because he only calls me Kenny motherfucking Burns. It's because of our Black Love episode. When my wife, Lake Michigan, I was on my knuckles like trying to figure it out. She said, "You're Kenny motherfucking Burns." And I've been Kenny motherfucking Burns ever since. And I think that when you have someone show you, to your point, a mirror of yourself, not of the person, the right partner shows you the best version of yourself, not what they bring necessarily. And yes, you do need yin to your yang. My wife is, I don't care about money. She has us wealthy now. That wasn't me, right? I might go make it, but she plans it and puts it up. So I think that you just have to understand, one, that your partner is supposed to make you better. Your partner is supposed to say the hard things to you to make you think about your choices and what you want to do and how to direct your energy even. Some people have light that's just so bright they don't know how to buy and sell it. You might need a partner to tell you how to put it in perspective, not to dumb it down, but to put it in perspective. And that can go, far.
I like that.
Yeah.
When I look in the mirror, I think one of the things that I feel that is really interesting is that the growth of where I started and where I am. I didn't even know I could grow to this level or just have these type of experiences get married, raise kids, have a kid in college, a kid in high school, travel the world with my family. Like, I didn't even know, like, I never thought about getting married. Like, I
Your
was
hairline?
Like, yeah, my hairline.
Can't take Kenny anywhere.
Y'all blessed.
He just,
He's just wrong, bro.
his follicles are dead.
Yeah.
That's what happens. No.
Oh, shit.
Me and Kenny been friends forever. So anyway, real quick, because we comedians. Anyway, make a
It's
long
because
story
I'm light
short.
skinned, he picks on me.
He just light skinned. So anyway, long story short, what I see in the mirror is growth, and I would have to give that to my wife because, you know, it was forced upon me. You know, the experience, I want to say the challenge of, you know, of raising your family, being a husband, balancing a career. It was so many different things I didn't even know I could even do, really, to be honest with you. But I just think that's what I see. I'm very grateful to have that experience.
So we got time for one last question.
God did.
God did.
I still got to answer.
He got to answer, Tommy.
Okay.
You rushing people.
We got a clock.
We ain't got to do shit.
Okay, I'll do it real quick.
Okay.
Listen, for me, when first of all, I'm sitting up here next to Bill Bellamy and these amazing brothers. This is because my wife helped me to embrace. First of all, she's a queen, and
Yes.
and when you have a queen, you have to embrace your inner king, and she helped me to do that because I wouldn't be here. Real talk. I would not be here right now. I would not be on this amazing show, living my dream. I was, kind of doing everything, and I wasn't focused on what I really wanted. And she's the one that helped me to understand the power of no and to really focus on what it is I want and not just do everything. And so I started to say no to projects and really focusing on the high vibration roles that I really was attracted to. And once I started to do that, they started to come into my cipher.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't a coincidence. It's just energy. It's frequency. It's like a stereo when you turn the dial and once you get into that stereo,
and it come
it's
in
all
clear,
right?
Yeah.
And that's how it was. And things started to pop off, and it was just kind of like Neo in the Matrix. You're just like, oh shoot. It just makes things easier. And so I was able to embrace my inner king and just be still, and just really just appreciate. You go, as they say, you can go fast alone, but you go further together.
Oh man, you about to make everybody cry, man. Getting all deep and shit.
It's true, man. I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful. I love you, baby.
I love you. He came to play.
Where we at? Where we looking? Oh.
I mean, how you gonna top that?
Finally, we get one guy to ask a question. Thank you.
I mean, here's the thing. So, sorry, before you do that, the guys are tripping and sleeping. Where I don't know, like we usually don't have a lot of guys, and it's sort of a miss because there's probably 85% women here, and so anyway.
We need some guy energy. Can y'all ask us some
What
shit?
you got? What you got?
I got you. So my brother's getting married next week on Friday, and I was going through so much trying to figure out what a good gift was, and I found myself asking friends this question. So since you guys are all married happily, what would you gift yourself as a newlywed after knowing everything that you know now?
Well, how much money you got?
The hell?
Shit.
Is he a therapist? It's a lot of therapists in here, man. What's going on?
And I couldn't get him anything that was just for him because it was for
You got to
the
do it.
union.
Give him money.
Yeah. Nah. You know what I would do? I would give them therapy sessions. No, reason why. I'm going to tell you why.
Don't start the fucking relationship off like that, Bill.
Yo. I'm being dead. You know, getting married is like going to boot camp. Nobody give you no experience. You could tell your mama, oh, just be quiet. You know, they don't never give you no real shit. But going back, if you were able to have a couple of classes on communication, understanding, forgiveness, tokens of affection, these are things that nobody know about. Like you just get married and be like, oh, it's gonna be every day gonna be Saturday. Nah. But like, because they won't know they need it. They won't know it. But if you give it to them, they'll be like, because ain't nothing wrong. That's perfect. So ain't nothing wrong. They'll go nice and clean, and they'll sit down, and then they'll say, well, because she'll get a chance to say, well, I want him to do this for me, and blah, blah, blah. And he'll be like, well, you got to cook. Shit. Yeah.
Bill has a new show called The Therapist coming out on Fox. But I would do something for both of them. I would give them something memorable that they can both wear and have together that immortalizes the moment. That could be a nice gift, too.
Fire.
Chef Kwame opened up a new restaurant out there, so I was just going to treat them to like that experience.
That's beautiful.
But I do still want to do something. But my question with the therapy, straight out the gate, just like, yo, here go 2
No, nigga. No.
Okay.
They ain't got no problems today.
Got you.
They get married.
Don't ask him.
Shit. No.
He going through
No.
something.
No fucking therapy yet. You telling them that some shit gonna be wrong. You need. One of y'all gonna fuck up.
Come out wrong.
He not going to therapy. Let's get that out the way.
We got one more question.
Go ahead,
One more question. One more question. Stand up, brother. Stand up, brother. There you go.
It's the last time we see Kenny at Black Love.
Black Love is over.
Sure. So my question is, for many of you who've been married, how have you guys managed through grief as you or your spouse have lost a loved one in your marriage?
You trying to make us cry. That shit just took the air out the goddamn.
No, it's true.
Oh, no, it's
so
real.
the reason why I got married, so I'm a newlywed, and 6 days after me and my wife got married, my mom passed away. So I wanted to get your experience on, how to navigate that. Advice for a newlywed.
Yeah, I think we all have to understand that it's coming. My father died January 1st. I hosted New Year's Eve, got a call in the morning this past January 1st that my father died. My son had a full ride to Radford University, brain surgery August 27th. 2 brain surgeries since. Life is going to throw curve balls, bro. And I think the union, though, is what makes you able to get through it. Now, we're all getting older. Our parents, our favorite auntie, our uncles, our favorite, people are getting older. Our friends are dying. Like, we're in our 50s. People are dying, bro.
You're in your 50s. I'm in my 30s.
I'm with you, Tom.
I'm trying to get used to saying this shit. The point is, you have to know that it's coming, and it has to be conversation-based prior to, because as long as you know that life is an eternal circle, like it's gonna happen, it's gonna keep happening, and you're gonna feel every bit of it. My sister called me today, her mom has melanoma, like literally kidney failure, like shit is just gonna come. The older we get, the more it comes, but you just have to be fortified together and have an understanding that it is coming, and more importantly, pray together.
Yeah.
So this is a real sensitive subject for me that has come up with me and my wife. My mother-in-law passed away while me and my wife were young, and I had never experienced loss. I can tell you, my advice to you is to not do what I did. Because I had never experienced it, I did nothing. And it's something that I have to live with, right? Because now her mom has been away for years, and my wife will tell me she's forgiven me for it, but I still live with it every time the topic comes up. Even if you don't have any experience with dealing with death, it's not an excuse when you're married to do nothing. Figure out a way to comfort her. Figure out a way
Amen.
to hear
Yeah.
her.
Absolutely.
Figure out a way to love
Yeah.
her. That's my advice.
For me, this was a really tough year because I lost my dad in June, and my wife lost her father 15 days before. So it was like crazy. What I would say is be kind and like empathy. Let them express, because grief is weird. Like everybody grieves differently. You know what I'm saying? And some days will be good, and you'll be like, oh, I'm cool, and then you'll just have a moment, and you'll just go straight to the bottom. And you know, it's like, so having a partner, you being there and she being there for you it's a blessing for you, bro, because that's what your mom would want. You know, somebody to love you, take care of you, and maybe it's very symbolic of passing on her to you. That's a gift. You know what I'm saying? So God bless you, bro. Yeah.
The unity is so important, and as you said, you know, empathy is the key. My wife lost her father in 2017, and we were not in the same continent at the time. She was working in Australia or New Zealand, sorry, and I was home in Vancouver. And it was very, I wish that I could have been there with her physically, you know. Actually, I was in Montreal. I was filming in Montreal. And I was so sorry. I felt, you know, I didn't get a chance to meet her father, which was, you know, it was really hard on me too. I was looking forward to meeting him, but it was just very, very difficult because I was so far. I didn't know it was over the phone, and I was just, babe, I'm sorry, and I just wanted, you know, but I couldn't physically be there to hold her and to comfort her. I know that I could have been better in just spending more time on the phone with her. I know that I had so many things going on, and I felt that what I had done was enough, but in hindsight, I know I could have done more. But I think that the key is empathy, and really, because I also hadn't lost anybody really close to me, and experienced that kind of loss. And I know that it's inevitable. We're all going to experience it at some point. And every time my mother's on the phone, no matter how much it gets on my nerves, I'm just so grateful that I have her, you know, to talk to. And to get on my nerves.
Absolutely.
You know? I was like, Mom, I love you. Yeah. But I just think empathy and really just put yourself in their position, in their place, and be there for them and love them. And
yes.
You know, yeah.
Black Love, do y'all got weed in the gift bags? Do y'all have some weed?
Did you put it in there?
I'm just playing.